Anybody else?
No, masterclass.
Okay,
today.
just masterclass. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
well.
So I'm gonna go on to X and promote
Did you bring
that.
us live? Oh, we are live.
We are
Oh,
live.
nice.
Yes, we are. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. And I'm going to quote this. Thanks to.
We promise it's not all watching grass grow. We're going to start the show very soon.
We are, and you're here. You're the OG live streamers. Thanks to our sponsor, Masterclass. Is it one word?
One word with a camel hump C.
Oh, it is. Camel hump meaning inner cap. Yes.
Yes, inner cap. Yeah, that's a sure.
Thanks to our sponsor this week. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. Thanks for sponsoring. Thanks to Masterclass for sponsoring.
There you go.
Yep.
You'll get it.
One of these days, sponsoring our episodes this week. And let me see if I can call them out at Masterclass. There it is.
Amazing.
Boom.
There's nothing more fun than watching someone
else work
while they
like
type.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then you always screw up because you it feels like somebody's looking over your shoulder.
But
then,
you're acting like someone is. And
yes.
in a sense, someone is. They're not looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
They're just looking at your face.
33 people when you're like, wait, I misspelled that. Oh, I did this.
Yeah. If you were doing this on your own, you would not be speaking.
No, it'd be like, boom.
You would just be focused.
Speaking and typing at the same time stuff.
Yep.
Hey, if you're just joining us, we are going to record 2 episodes of Business Brain. Our October 29th episode, where we have a couple of really interesting topics. One of them is motivational endurance, something I heard this week, which I like, or last week. And then we have our Friday our wildly popular AI episodes. That'll be for Friday. We're going to record that next, so be sure to stick around.
Great.
And I'm ready.
I am ready too.
When you are. And Dave, I dropped that link to that motivational endurance video into Slack for you. For the show notes.
I will put it in the show notes.
Sounds great.
I'm going to put it right now so that I don't have to think about it later. And then I am going to start the show, I think. Yeah. Let's see how I do. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Yeah, here goes nothing. Motivational endurance, an e-way side hustle, and who knows what else today on Business Brain, episode 696 for Wednesday, October 29th, National Cat Day 2025.
Cats.
I love cats.
Yeah, they're okay. Some of them.
They're better than dogs.
No way.
Greetings, folks, and welcome. Are we just going to fight about this? We're not even
We'll
going to
never agree on this. So
the cage match has already
We're just
begun.
going to skip it.
All right. Well, we won't talk about why cats are better than dogs. We will simply welcome you to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas, sometimes that one, sometimes others, sometimes from us, sometimes from you. We crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our business brains so that each of us can do a little bit better at leading our charmed lives every day. Our sponsor, masterclass.com/businessbrain. That's where you can go as a listener to get an additional 15% off of any annual membership. We will talk more about that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, with my cats, well, not quite by my side, but nearby, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm Shannon Jean. I'm still up at Lake Tahoe. We're getting ready to wrap up and head back to the Bay Area today, but enjoyed it here. And it's not that I dislike cats. There are certain cats that are more dog-like, so I like them. They're okay. You know what I mean? This kind of stuff. So no, I'm just joking around. It's a great, battle, cats or dogs. But if I did have to choose, I would definitely, and I guess it's situational, right? But my life now, having dogs is amazing. But dogs are definitely needier, and they require more of your mind share and attention than cats do. There's no doubt about it.
We've trained our cats pretty well. Our son especially is excellent at like grooming cats in the right way. And our cats love attention, They want to be with us when we're like on the couch, and they sleep with us, and they're like friendly.
Nice.
They're not the kind of cats that want to be at arm's length, and you try to pat them and you can't.
Pet me with your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, they want pats. My cat will demand that I spend time on the floor with him every day.
That's cool.
But if I want to go out for 12 hours,
Yeah,
I just
that's it.
leave the
Yeah,
house.
that's the problem with the dog. Is
Right.
They're like, what? You can't leave us for
you
more
can't
than
leave us and
2
you can't.
hours.
Like,
no,
exactly.
no.
So,
Yeah.
Robert wrote in with this interesting thing. So I'm just
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna ripcord this conversation here.
Do it,
He says,
do it.
I love the last episode. It had me grinning the whole time. I thought I'd share a little side hustle hobby of mine that's been part of my DNA since childhood. Back in the late 60s, my neighbor, Richard von Wagner, I think, was the chief officer for the radar development team at Fort Monmouth, which is now Netflix's headquarters. He taught me how to fix our family's old 13-inch black and white Zenith TV. The tube would burn out constantly, so I'd lug it down the hill and he'd walk me through testing and tweaking the circuitry. That lit the fuse, so to speak. Soon I was tearing apart my dad's amplifiers, rigging them to my Harman Kardon stereo, and blasting the B-52's Rock Lobster so loud the cops showed up. Not because of complaints, but because they could hear it from nearly a mile away. Fast forward to art school in the late 80s, where I built my first computer from scratch. When the desktop revolution hit, I was perfectly positioned to launch my career as a graphic designer and art director, working with major ad firms and big-time brands in New York City.
Nice.
Tech wasn't just a tool, it became part of how I created. Advertising is all about standing out, and one of the best ways to do that is by living on the bleeding edge. I've always done that, both in my art and my hobby. What started as a personal passion quickly took on a life of its own. I found myself beta testing for Adobe and FileMaker Pro, then later on with Apple in a side hustle. That's a story for another day. Eventually, I was testing new tech products and reviewing gear for the MyMac podcast. These days, he says, I'm not building electronics, I'm dismantling them. I post in the local Facebook groups asking for old gear that's headed for the trash. I pick it up for free, strip out the valuable parts, sell them if I can, and sort the metals. There's a local dump here that pays for recyclable components like motherboards. I usually walk away with $30 to $75 per haul, just enough to cover gas or grab an appetizer on the way back. Some months I make up to $700 selling the parts. I'm not sure what I enjoy most about doing what I'm doing. The joy of taking stuff apart, the satisfaction of keeping e-waste out of landfills, or the pocket change that makes it all worthwhile. It's hard to say, but it's fun, it's purposeful, and I'll keep at it until the junk runs dry.
That's cool. I'd say he's also good, has some writing skill there, too.
He's a good
That's
storyteller.
Cool. Yeah,
for sure.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I love that. I mean, side hustles, and I like to refer them as, evergreen revenue streams, because I think you can lean into them forever. It just sounds like, my point here. And, there's just so much opportunity around us that, and I love the idea of keeping stuff out of the landfill is great. And, doing it as a second career, I can't imagine ever stopping. What would you do, So what would you do with your time if you didn't have something going on? So side hustle's perfect when you're young and just getting started, doing stuff to make extra money in your career or whatever your business thing's going on. And then as you get older and if you have more time on your hands, I love it, dude.
Yep.
It's really good.
Yep.
Really, really cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love that. But you're right. It's really important, I think, to think about what would you do if you didn't need to earn money? And the question and the answer to that is whatever the answer is, start doing that today in a limited capacity, right? So that you build it up to a point where it just naturally kind of takes over. Because otherwise, retirement, whatever that looks like, gets super expensive. Because as soon as you stop spending your time earning money, I like if I were to be told, okay, you're done working, you can't do any of that stuff anymore, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm going to travel a bunch. And now I'm spending money
because you don't want to be bored. Boredom is the enemy.
Oh, boredom! No,
boredom
it's
is
not
the
allowed.
enemy. Totally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. And the thing I like it too is when I had new employees come on and get them going and set them up in their tech lab in their area. One of the questions I would always ask was, so what are your interests? What are you interested in? What do you want to do beyond this? And
Yeah.
sometimes I kind of look at you like funny, but I learned from a guy that I worked for in college. It was like my last real job at a company called the Mac Garage. And he said to me, he said, and I think it leads in well to what I want to talk about in a little bit. He said, hey, you've got to find something extra that interests you to kind of keep your motivation going when things get rough or whatever. And he was like, what is it? And he wouldn't let go. I was like, I don't know. Nobody's ever asked me that before at a job. And so for me, finally, it was like, well, I want to learn about the internet and online. I didn't really know anything about it and what's happening. And it was like, Robert said, it was perfect timing for that. And so I think all of us are just, I don't know how you're wired, but there's a woman in my mastermind that she bid on a government auction, bought 2 pallets of books for $1 and spent all summer just selling them on eBay and made $5,000.
Amazing.
And so all this, there's just so many different ways to do this stuff to keep yourself, whether it's a podcast, you're writing something, selling something. It's awesome. And it keeps your brain going, man.
Yeah. Well, it keeps you engaged. It keeps you from being bored.
Engaged.
Yeah.
Super good. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, that's fun. And folks, feedback at businessbrain.show. I almost said the other podcast I do. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Let us know what do you do, or what do you want to do? What are you going to start next? Speaking of feedback, we are going to need our Goodwin 55 to write in so that we know how to find you, because you just sent in a great review. I think a great review.
Nice.
5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Sorry, I said our Godwin. It's our Goodwin is what I'm reading here. Great show. I discovered your show a couple of episodes ago. I enjoy it very much. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you for sharing. We love the reviews. It's great. We love all kinds of things. I do want to talk about motivational endurance. The next thing that we're going to talk about is our sponsor. And here's the thing. We know as entrepreneurs that we're always learning, right? Not just from our mistakes, although that certainly is a good way. But sometimes it's great to learn from the best to become your best. And that's exactly what both Shannon and I get from our sponsor, Masterclass. I've been loving Wayne Gretzky's class on the athlete's mindset, because whether you're on the ice or in the office, greatness is all about anticipation and follow through. And then I jumped into Martha Stewart's Think Like a Boss, Live Like a Legend. And now I can approach my to-do list with the same authority that Martha brings maybe to a Thanksgiving centerpiece. And Rich Paul's Deal Maker's mindset, that one should come with a cape, man. It makes negotiation feel like a superpower, because it is. With over 200 classes across 13 categories, you can fit learning into your schedule, whether it's during your morning routine or between client calls. And with plans starting at just $10 a month, it's an easy way to upgrade your thinking and live your own charmed life. So if you're ready to build your skills, boost your mindset, and maybe become slightly even more legendary than Martha, join me by using Masterclass. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/businessbrain. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/businessbrain, masterclass.com/businessbrain. Plus, every new membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Check it out. Our thanks to Masterclass for sponsoring this episode. All right, Shannon. Motivational endurance, my friend.
Yeah, I love the masterclass, man. There's so much content there that is so valuable. I talked about the Liquid Death guy, and then Mark Cuban has some new stuff up there. Really, really great. I just see this comment. You see the comment in the chat there too?
No.
From this guy said, "I'm retired and my new revenue stream is doing great. It's going so good. I'm typing this from my hotel room in Paris." I happen to know that guy. His name is Jim Rowe, and I can attest that he's doing great. That's
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah,
Love that. That's great.
Too. I love it too.
That's great.
So I follow this really great account on X. It's a woman. Her name is Dr. Julie Gerner, and we have you can find her link in the show notes at businessbrain.show. I highly recommend you follow her. And there's a link to a video she posted last week about just, when feeling alive and taking risks and not getting stuck behind a screen and that kind of thing. And it resonated with me. But then towards towards the end, she makes a comment and talks about this phrase, motivational endurance, which I really hadn't heard before, but I realized we talk about it in roundabout ways a lot on this show. But it's a great term. It might be a T-shirt term. I'm not sure yet. I haven't qualified it 100%. If you're just listening, if it's, I can tell if it's ready to go on a T-shirt, it's going to be in my lexicon, for sure. But motivational endurance is, when you're first starting out a business and you're getting going and everything's exciting and you're solving problems, well, then you start to hit barriers, right? You start to hit walls, and I guess it doesn't matter at what stage of business. This just kind of starts and stops and starts and
it's
stops.
Cyclical.
Right? It's cyclical. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people that succeed and power through, they have this motivational endurance, keeping yourself going and being excited about solving problems, even if they're some of the same problems you've experienced before. But how do you, so the tricks, and she talks about them, and we've talked about them here. I'd love to bounce a few back and forth about.
I like it.
How do you keep yourself going when it just, I fight against drudgery of, this 9-to-5 corporate kind of life, but you got to admit, even as an entrepreneur, you have drudgery.
It's drudgery. The more success you have, the more drudgery you've created for yourself.
Yeah, you become a manager, which I never wanted to be.
No, I
still
hate
don't want to
that.
be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but it's part of how it is.
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing because that drudgery is, of all the topics that we talk about on the show, figuring out how to motivate past that drudgery is certainly one of the most popular, one of the most common.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard. Like you do it by telling your story, right? Like
it's going to be my first tip.
Right, that's it. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to steal.
No, that's okay. I'm happy to somebody share it. And that's it. Go backward. I live my life backward, and I have this vision way out there. It's not a goal. It's just a system of me sitting around a campfire telling stories. And I've been fortunate enough to do it, and I will continue to do it. And I know that the groups of people I get to tell these stories to changes, right? Over decades or whoever. It's your kids sometimes. And now it's one thing that's awesome. It's like my son who's, his early 20s, my daughter who's, and she just got married. So I'm telling all these stories to a whole different group, which is great. And at least they're indulging me because I'm paying for the beer. So, around whatever. Yeah, but it's huge for me.
I picked up, my son was he was down by the beach one night with a bunch of his friends. And for some reason, they needed rides back to our house. Like my son had his car and he was okay to drive. His friends needed rides, and he called us. And it's about 30 minutes away. It's Friday night or whatever. And he's like, these people, but can you help? And I was like, sure. So I went down and I drove 3 of his friends back to the house without him in the car.
Okay.
Right? Because he was driving his car home. Right.
Yeah.
And one of his friends asked me, so what do you do? Lucas has told us a little bit, and so I did. I just prattled on for 30 minutes. I know this is going to be no great surprise to anybody listening to the show.
I have the same problem.
Right. And Lucas, this was a couple years ago, and he says, that guy still talks about this night. He's like, he
cool,
thinks.
Man.
He thinks the world of you because of this. And I'm like, oh, that's great.
Well, yeah, but I wish when I was that age, I wish someone had shared that with me.
Exactly.
I really do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't talk about their stuff or whatever, or maybe they don't think their job is exciting or whatever. But, it's kind of like that comment I've said before here, you always tell the truth, but make it fantastic. Right.
Yes.
And so you can put a not a spin, but you can highlight the things
you
that
pick the highlights.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I had a 30-minute ride.
Yes.
I mean, if I had
Not
a 5
your whole
minute
life.
ride, I have a version for that too.
That's right.
But for 30 minutes, it was like, I can talk about the time that Steve Jobs promoted my podcast.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And that's amazing to people.
Yeah.
Of the right generation.
That's right.
I know how to pick my audience.
Yeah. And even failures, even when things go disaster.
Sure.
It's a disaster. Yeah. The first thing I think is this is going to make a great story. We're going to talk about this a lot. And, and another way that I do it is recognizing the small wins. You know, it's kind of related to that to-did list concept. And if you've never heard of that, you should go to businessbrain.show and look up TO-DID.
I'll put the search in the link. You just
it's even
click
better.
it.
Businessbrain.show.
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
And, you know, this to-did concept is not a to-do list because I don't like those, but it's at the end of the day or evening, whatever works for you, is just recognizing the stuff you got done. And I'm going to talk about more on our Friday Eye episode, but I have a new way that this to-did list thing works that I'm using, that I'm actually wearing right now, and it's amazing. So recognizing little things during the day, you're just like, I did get all that stuff done. Keeping that motivational endurance going every single day, especially when you're going through tough times, man. It's super important.
It makes yeah, and I mean, it's good to have these things before the tough times hit.
Yes.
But one of the things that will catalyze motivational endurance or return motivational endurance is panic. If things are tough, that is, I find that to be amazingly, yeah, I don't need discipline anymore. It's like, I definitely want to get there and fix this and do it. And like, yep, you got to make it happen.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
But also being in that role of a rainmaker, you know, making the sales, pulling the money in, that too is infectious for a little while. And I think the trick is to have multiple tricks.
Because that's exactly right.
Right?
Yes.
Relying on any one of these will burn out.
It gets old.
Even panic only panics you for so long until it becomes routine.
Yeah.
And all of these things become routine. And then you just need something else to keep that going.
To me, in that overlaying story, another trick that I use is I ask people to figure this out for themselves whenever I'm working with them, is coming up with your noble cause, right? Like, what is it that you're trying to achieve in like, for when it was Tech Restore, we hired new technicians, and it would be like, hey, you're fixing MacBooks and iPads and fun, and like, okay, yeah, great. It's like, no. You're changing people's lives, and let me tell you how. And so we had a whole process where we showed examples and feedback from customers and how it's so important, and how we recovered somebody's
thesis. This is why
thesis.
we like your reviews.
Yeah, the same thing.
When we say it's fuel for us, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, it helps with our motivational endurance when you go to businessbrain.show/reviews and tell us what you like, what you don't, and help guide us on what we should be talking about, because we've been up here talking for 11 years. So, you know, I think we have endurance a little bit. So.
We do. We call it bullheaded persistence or being too dumb to quit. I'm not sure which is better.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's great. I'd love to hear your stories. You know, I have a bunch of other stuff, you know, but you know, come follow me on X, you know, x.com/ShannonGene or x.com/Dave Hamilton. We tell these stories all the time. What motivates us? And a lot of the stuff we do, like the things we say here, when I'm telling you, I'm really telling myself. I'm repeating it for my brain to listen to. And yes, I'm sharing it and, you know, to this audience, but the language is huge, man.
When we argue about, you know, which one of us is the one who's learning the most, it's because we're here feeding ourselves.
That's right.
And hopefully, and I mean, you confirm this too, folks, but hopefully it helps all of us.
Like Robert's side hustle.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. This keeps your brain going. Fuel. I look forward to it every week. It's over the years, it would be so easy to be like, I'm too busy, I can't record this week. But we've always done it, and I always value it and appreciate it, and I always learn the most.
I learn just a little bit more than Shannon every single week, and have the receipts to prove it. My cat will confirm.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, folks, and we'll see you on Friday. Keep living that charmed life.
See you
later.
That's funny. That's good. So if you're listening on the live stream, it looks like there's about 368 of you. I'm a numbers guy. I always like seeing those go up. We're in between episodes. Dave's going to upload that episode right away to our audio. Would you call Auphonic an audio processing service, or what would you call it?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
There we go.
That's
and,
it. Yeah.
That is going to be kind of run through some magical stuff that'll help me post that episode for Wednesday. And then we're going to come. That only takes a couple minutes, so stick around. And then we're going to record our Friday Eye episode. And
coming up in
because
about
you're
2
listening,
minutes.
I'm going to give you a bonus tip on motivational endurance.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about that while Dave does his thing. And that is connecting with other people and peers or groups, whether it's in person, online. It's a massive help to keep yourself motivated and going forward. I have a group on X that I've connected with for a couple of years, and we talk all the time. Now we take trips once a year.
Yeah.
I've stayed connected to Dave during all decades of time, and even there were years. It might have been a year where we didn't talk in between.
Oh, sure.
When we launched our,
Yeah.
when we had our one business, and then we launched this, but we would occasionally dip into Slack and got reconnected. So your network is super powerful in keeping you motivated, and you want to have people you can talk to and tell bad news to, or
Yes.
talk about I'm down, I can't get anything to work, nothing is right.
Nothing's
That's
all broken.
We've all been there, and yeah,
We'll
everything's
be
broken.
there again, by
Yeah,
the way.
and so
Yes.
if your group only wants to hear good news, you need to you expand it and find the people that you can tell the bad news to,
Yeah.
and that they also, this is important, they're comfortable telling you the bad news, because it's just the way it is. It's up and down, and so find a group of people. And if you don't have anybody and you're on social, find who interacts with your posts the more. Like if you're on X or Instagram or LinkedIn, it's great. So if people start interacting with you, LinkedIn, they're kind of often trying to sell you something, but you can get around that. But those are the folks that are like-minded, and that's how I built my group on X, is people that wanted to talk about business and help each other solve problems. So that's my bonus tip for in between the episodes. It's good.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Good timing.
All right.
I'm ready to. Let's go. Friday
that's
AI.
right. I have an AI tip to share here to start
We're gonna do that to start.
the thing. Yeah. All right. We'll see how I do. All right. Great. Let's see if I can do this.
I'm gonna find this post.
All right. Well, don't talk so much, because I had turned the red light on right as you said. I think I'm going to find this.
It's my first
post.
episode, folks.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just usually we're more in sync. Sometimes we're not. All right, here we go. It's time for Friday Eye, everybody, and I'm going to start this episode a little bit differently. I have a tip. I find that when I have to start a project or just flesh out an idea, I like to talk about it. I can talk faster than I can type, and there's a lot of times where it's like, I just don't want to type all of this information. The ChatGPT app on your phone, on your computer, you hit the little microphone. I'm not talking about the conversational mode. I'm talking about dictation, and you can just talk at it, and it turns out there's a 10-minute limit because I've hit it. But I just wind up talking and speaking, and it doesn't matter if you're forming complete sentences. I just barf all the information at it, turn off the microphone, hit send, and then it starts to flesh out exactly what it is I want to start doing. And then, of course, I can work with ChatGPT to refine all of that. It's fantastic, and it's something I only started doing this week, and so I wanted to share.
I love it.
This and more. We'll talk about this and more on Business Brain, episode 697 for Casual Friday Eye, October 31st. What is it today? That's right. It's National Knock Knock Joke Day 2025.
Knock knock for Halloween, maybe.
Knock knock for what? It's true. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take a few things, ideas, tips maybe, thoughts, questions, we share them, we chew on them, we dissect them, we use them to help tune our business brains each and every time we get together. Our sponsor this week is masterclass.com/businessbrain. That's where you can go because you're a Business Brain listener to get 15% off any annual membership. We'll talk more in depth about that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm Shannon, wrapping up my last few hours of my week up at our place in Tahoe, and
Nice.
getting ready to head home to the Bay Area. Yeah, good to be here, man. I love Friday Eye.
I love Friday Eye. Yeah.
Always learn a lot. I love that voice. I think everything is going to voice. It's much more efficient for quick things like you're talking about.
Yeah, and just the brain dump kind of stuff.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
if I type it, I am naturally going to be forming sentences and impeding the keyboard is an awful interface between the brain and the computer. I get that it's our primary one, at least right now, but it has been for decades. And don't get me wrong, it's better than punch cards or whatever, but it's limiting, right? Because we're limited to what our fingers can do and how well we can formulate our thoughts into like words that we're typing and all of that.
Yeah,
and just being able to just barf thoughts without any worries about punctuation or it'll understand it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I uploaded, like last night I used ChatGPT to help me troubleshoot a problem with the washing machine up here. And I kept uploading videos. I would say, "What's this noise?" And it was like, "Ngang, ngang, ngang, ngang," whatever. And it would say, "Oh, your pump has an air blockage in it." And I'm like, "Bro, awesome." So it's like, here's how to fix it. And it's like, do you want here? But here's how it's so good at that. And then it goes, "Do you want me to create photos and show you step by step?" I'm like, "Yes." And it would show me step by step. I'm like, "Where are the photos?"
Yeah, ain't no photos.
It just misses stuff like that. But
It does.
And then it's like, "Okay, you got that fixed." And I go, "Okay, yeah, but I'm still having this." And it's like, "Take another video." And I just video it, I upload it, and it dissects it, gives me some information. So after a while, I mean, it probably took me 40 minutes to and the nice thing is on the screen, there was like error messages coming up on this Samsung washer that we have.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh, that's 5C. And this is what this means." So the fact that it can, and I'm going around and I'm showing it the control panel and I go right up to the model number sticker. So I'm not typing like, "Oh, it's a Samsung model, this, that, and the other." I'm just taking video and dumping it into ChatGPT. And man, it's amazing. It's magic.
It's amazing. Yeah.
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 I love it. I think it's really good. And I like that feedback thing, because you're right, typing it out. And I get frustrated, especially if I'm on my phone, It's like, I have so much in my head, I don't want to type it all out.
Yeah, I can't. And I can't be efficient. My problem is what drove me to this was I was losing the thought while I was typing it.
That's interesting.
Because I was getting distracted by the process of typing. And I'm a pretty fast typist. Like, I think I'm at about 120 words a minute these days. But still, it doesn't matter. And it was like, I'm going to barf at this thing now. And then it was like, oh my gosh, this is how things are going to start. If I ever share one of those chats with somebody, though, and you see my initial, quote unquote prompt, which is just this like almost,
blurb. Yeah,
it's just a blurb. There's no periods. It sometimes will put a period or a comma in, but it doesn't need them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wonder if, we always are focused on prompts right now and how to get it to tweak. And I just wonder, as it gets better with Grok or, ChatGPT or whoever, you're using, is it going to matter as much? Is that real, like, natural language going to take over for some of this prompt requirements?
Well, and not even language. I mean, you're talking about, like what we're talking about now is what's commonly called prompt engineering, right?
Yeah.
But we're not talking about engineering a text prompt here. I talked about using an audio prompt. You're talking about using a video prompt, and your video prompt, engineering-wise, is much more efficient than you trying to type out, like, okay, in the back right corner, if I'm looking at it from the front, like, how long would it take you to describe that with terms that you don't know?
Correct.
You're not an expert in this.
And you can narrate the video. Like, okay, you told me there's this, because they kept telling me to pull this one tube, and I'm finally, that's what got me.
Dude, there's no tube.
There is no tube here. And then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, you have this. And then I showed it the model, and I finally gave it a whole overall.
Yeah.
And this kind of aha moment hit me going, why haven't I been doing this more and more?
That's brilliant.
And so then it's like, oh, now I know. You can't reach that impeller because that model, it's in the back and this and that. And so do this instead. And it's just, learning to adapt to the machine, right? And the system.
Yeah, the interface still sucks.
Yes.
Like, it would be better if it could just know what's in your brain. but
Yeah.
it can't, and that's probably a good thing.
Not yet.
And right, not yet. Yeah. So in that, it's just finding the right interface for the right moment, and
That's cool.
I mean, what you just described is.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple more interface comments and tips that I'd like to share, and happy to do that as we keep rolling with Friday Eye.
Friday Eye. I love it. I do have. You know what? Let's. Do you want to do one more of your interface things? Okay.
Yeah, I will tell you right now. You hopefully got the 1-year free subscription to Perplexity, which we posted in our thing, and I started using the Comet browser, and I'm at a loss for words, which is unusual. It's so good. It's so much better. Having the AI built into that browser, I can just ask questions about no matter where I'm at on the web. If I'm in, I deal with a lot of auction stuff, so I could go to govdeals.com, which I love, which is a bunch of government auctions, and I could say, hey, Comet, go find me some interesting auctions.
Sure.
And it's like, here you go. And it's like, wait. And then, or I'll say, I'm interested in this item that's being auctioned off. Go get the market price for these, find it. Okay. It's like,
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I know all of your history most of your history is with ChatGPT. Have you tried the Atlas browser, which is
I just did that.
Version?
That came out. Yeah. So I find that it's not quite. I don't like the layout as much, but I haven't had a ton of time with Atlas because I just downloaded it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But Comet just opens up this little side panel console, if you will.
I think I get that with Atlas. I was getting a side panel.
Okay. Yeah. I just have to go set it up. But I just think that it's really eye-opening for me, and I would highly recommend you grab both. I think you should play around with them and
for sure.
Be able to query, because I use a thing called Easy Data Scraper, which is just an unbelievable Chrome extension that is life-changing, where if I'm on a site and I want a bunch of data about it, I just hit a button and it scrapes it all and dumps it in a spreadsheet for me, instantly. And it's amazing. It's one of the keys to the kingdom. It's got over 1 million downloads on the Chrome extension. It's a Chrome extension.
Is it this one, the Easy Web Data Scraper?
Maybe it's Instant. Hold on.
I saw the Instant one too.
It's Instant Data Scraper. I'm sorry.
Okay,
that one may be fine.
I
use the wrong word. So Instant Data Scraper.
That's fine.
But for example, in my community, we this weekend we hit 10,000 messages sent. Okay. In the community. Sure. That's awesome. But you know what? They haven't brought AI into it yet, but they're going to.
Oh,
so
yeah, right.
I'm on. I want to know what's the kind of overall. What's the most common question that's being asked? Seems basic. It's perfect for AI to tell you. Well, with Comet, I'm up in my community and I just say, hey, what's or this Instant Data Scraper? I say, go scrape and it'll reload the page. It'll keep loading the pages and it'll give it to you in a spreadsheet. And then I can dump that spreadsheet into an AI. Now, maybe Comet could do this for me. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
That's
Comet might just be able to skip the process. Yeah.
But it's amazing. I love it. I highly recommend you start using these. And I'm sure Chrome, I haven't taken advantage of Gemini built into it or whatever, and I'm sure this is old news for some people, but not for me, and I'm excited to share it.
Everything is new news or old news, depending on whether you knew it before the episode started. Yeah. That's why we share these things. Yeah,
That's right.
It's not, when I share that you can speak your text into the thing. I've known about that, actually, for months. But it just never dawned on me why I would want to do that, right? And then it was like, oh, wait a minute. This is, like you said, keys to the kingdom. I love it.
That's great.
Speaking of keys to the kingdom, the next thing I want to do is talk about our sponsor. And here's the thing. We know as entrepreneurs that we're always learning, right? Not just from our mistakes, although that certainly is a good way. But sometimes it's great to learn from the best to become your best. And that's exactly what both Shannon and I get from our sponsor, Masterclass. I've been loving Wayne Gretzky's class on the athlete's mindset because whether you're on the ice or in the office, greatness is all about anticipation and follow through. And then I jumped into Martha Stewart's Think Like a Boss, Live Like a Legend. And now I can approach my to-do list with the same authority that Martha brings maybe to a Thanksgiving centerpiece. And Rich Paul's Deal Maker's Mindset, that one should come with a cape, man. It makes negotiation feel like a superpower because it is. With over 200 classes across 13 categories, you can fit learning into your schedule, whether it's during your morning routine or between client calls. And with plans starting at just $10 a month, it's an easy way to upgrade your thinking and live your own charmed life. So if you're ready to build your skills, boost your mindset, and maybe become slightly even more legendary than Martha, join me by using Masterclass. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/businessbrain. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/businessbrain, masterclass.com/businessbrain. Plus, every new membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Check it out. Our thanks to Masterclass for sponsoring this episode. Shannon, I've got another AI tip to share.
Do it.
And this is one that ChatGPT has gotten so much better at in the last couple of months. I'm constantly wanting to find the right contact at any given company, who they are, and then also perhaps their email address or maybe their phone number, but email's generally better for these kinds of things that I like to do. It could be to pitch like sales to, or even just to let them know, like we mentioned your thing in the show. Like I just like to tell people that we do that. The law of reciprocity, right? We did something for you. We want you to know, right? All that stuff. And I've used all kinds of things. I've used Seamless AI, which is a pretty good system for finding those contacts. But I have found in the last 6 weeks that ChatGPT, just telling it like, hey, we mentioned Seamless.ai in the podcast. Who is the right person there to tell this to? And what is their email address most likely to be? And it will be like, all right, well, there's 3 people. There's Cindy, Tim, and Franklin. And you probably want to write to Cindy. But if that doesn't work, here's Franklin. And here, let me formulate a note for you to send to Cindy. Cool. Right? Sure. Like the whole thing just sort of cascades into it works. Like I've done it with, it's like I want to pitch this particular company because I think they should be buying ads on our podcast. And like brilliant. I have sold dollars worth of ads because I contacted the right person via ChatGPT.
Yep. That's so great. Those contacts are so important. But the one that you just said when you started out is just making connections with someone you had a conversation with, or you saw, hey, I saw you did this talk. I just want to say thanks. Because then you just there. And if they respond and say, hey, thanks, Dave. I'm glad you really enjoyed it. That's it. And then
just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Then the next time gets a little warmer, so it works out really well. That's awesome. I want to do a quick, we talked about on the show earlier this week, we talked about motivational endurance and how to keep things. And one of the things I mentioned was my to-did list concept, which you can find in the show notes at businessbrain.show.
Sure.
And I'm wearing this Limitless. You're not watching, but if you are watching, you can see I've got this Limitless pendant that I've been using for a while. And one of the great things it's done is it creates my to-did list at the end of the day. And an example that I have is just right here. I'm like, tell me about my day. It's like your day. Of course, it's going to talk to me like I'm, a hero. Superman. Your day was a powerful demonstration of your dual roles as a mentor, a hands-on problem solver. You dedicated a significant portion of the day to teaching, leading a workshop, yada, yada. There's a bunch of this kind of stuff. And it's like you led a master class, you hosted the first bid to first sale workshop, and then it's like you created bespoke training, you recorded the detailed tutorial video for your client, Morgan, and then it's like, and then even this stuff. You tackled home repairs. You conducted a thorough inspection of the rental property up in Tahoe, identifying the need for a new mattress. And so all this stuff, and I'm reading this at the end of the day, I'm just like, dude, I got a lot done today. And you know what?
That's hugely motivating.
Motivates the heck out of me, man, because I'm just like, look at all this stuff I did. And so what I find myself doing is I just talk a little bit more. And I already talk to myself more anyway.
Okay.
I've always done that. But as I'm walking through, it's like, oh yeah, I got to blow the stuff off the deck. I got to do this. And I'm starting to set reminders because I want to integrate reminders from this, the limitless.ai thing into my normal routine. It's not quite there yet, but I think we're going to get there pretty soon. So I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. And as a teaser, I just got the instructions set to link it to my ChatGPT literally a couple of hours ago. So over the next week or so, I'm going to tie all this stuff together. And I think having it linked to all the content and context in my ChatGPT history is going to be amazing. It's going to be a huge unlock. I think. We'll see. I'll keep everybody posted. Make sure you stick around so you can find us.
This is that motivating part of it. That like there is the to-did list. That I don't do it every day. And
sure. Either way. Yeah.
Well, but
now I do.
I'm
I
now
guess.
realizing that part of the reason I don't do it every day is because there's some days where I need it. And I don't want to get burned out on it because it is when you build that. If I get to the end of the day and I think, man, this day went to hell in a handbasket. Like I got nothing done. That when I have that thought, that's when I sit down and I create my to-did list.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, actually, you know what? I did get some things done. There are things I didn't get done, but I'm not going to focus on that. Like
what did you do? What were the hours taken? And so it wasn't just.
Let's frame this positively so that I go into tomorrow with some confidence and some motivation.
Yeah, and you should put the stuff you missed. I mean, that's part of it, right?
That's part, of course.
Yeah, I'm really hard on myself, and I'm always thinking, like, did I earn a couple of hours to relax tonight? Because if I didn't, I'm going to just not. I'm going to just have my laptop the whole time and get stuff done.
It's true. I'm the same way.
I want to stack it up going, all right, dude. You did it. Here's your pass. Here's your 2-hour pass.
You earned your pass. Yeah.
and for better or worse, that's just how my brain works.
Yeah.
So this pendant, the limitless thing, is I think going to really help me.
I can see that.
Each of my day in perspective, and
that is the first time because we've talked about this now 3 times on the show, and that was the first time where I was like, okay, maybe I do want one of these stupid things.
Yeah.
Right. And I say stupid. It's not stupid.
No. It's just like a new thing that you're like, wow, it's going to listen to everything I say.
It's going to become e-waste eventually.
Yeah.
Speaking, we talked about e-waste in the first episode. I own, like in my studio is a Nest thermostat.
Yep.
First gen. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But
it doesn't work anymore.
As of Saturday, it's not supposed to work with their online system anymore. It still does. But
no more updates, right? Yeah.
Well, but no, they say that the cloud access, app access, only way you can interface with it is to touch it. And whatever schedule was in it the day it went offline is the schedule that will be with it for the rest of its life.
Wow.
And they came out with this in like April. They said that this was going to happen.
I got that too for some cameras we have. Yeah.
I figured that these are popular enough that someone would have figured out how to like use Home Assistant with it or something. And to my knowledge, no, that hasn't happened. But it's just more there's just this stuff, like especially for me because I get a lot of review stuff. Yeah. But this limitless thing seems like it has a useful shelf life.
I think so.
A useful wearable life.
Yeah. And I find it's real quick. I did an experiment where because sometimes I don't like to wear it up on around my face because they say to keep it 2 feet, but I actually wore it in clipped into my pocket of my pants, and it picked up everything.
Oh.
So I didn't have to have it like if I'm wearing a T-shirt, it's I was like, sometimes I don't like it dangling off the
pulling
collar,
on your shirt weirdly.
Pulls your shirt. I have a jacket, no big deal. But so it's kind of cool, and I'm going to keep sharing information about it. And
love it.
Yeah. But we want to hear from you. What are you doing so we can talk about it and take best practices from you.
Share your ideas.
Share your ideas. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Reach out, talk to us.
We don't steal anything here. We curate, Shannon.
Yeah, we curate. You're right.
That's right. We curate and share.
Yeah,
it's not like we keep this stuff for ourselves.
No,
the ideas we are most excited about are the ones that happen at the beginning of the episode. Right. We just share them immediately.
Yeah,
so.
it's cool.
Thanks for hanging out. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Keep living that charmed life and have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next
See ya.
week. And we're out.
That was cool.
Sweet. Yeah.
That was good. Good stuff. Hey, if you're watching the live stream, thank you for hanging out with us. You can always comment and all this stuff. We typically run the live stream Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And that's 2 to 4. That's 4
p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m.
I
Eastern for
could've
those
told
of
you.
you keeping track at home. But thank you again for hanging out. I'm going to end the live stream, and these episodes will come out Wednesday and Friday to every podcast network basically on the planet. So you'll see us here. But reach out, get involved. Don't be a lurker. We want to hear from you. Feedback at businessbrain.show. See ya.
Don't be a